Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Hard Lens Media. My name is Kit Cabella. I'm joined here today with my two co-hosts, Daniel Lupker as well as Lewis. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are live on Q4radio.org, 1680 AM, as well as on our Facebook live stream, and we are streaming right now. We have a lot of hot topics to talk about, as well as we have two representatives from the Chicago Democratic Socialists of America who will be joining us later today. So initially, we're going to get started off with a very important story that can systematically affect the entire election for 2020, or at least what the political field is going to look like for the 2020 presidential election cycle. So, Daniel, you caught onto this story right away, so why don't you lead off?
So this is to a kind of a broader argument that's come up in the Democratic Party and the media, where people are talking about frontrunners, and Bernie Sanders' name is always excluded from the list due to polling that constantly has him as the most favorited person to win. So he hasn't, of course, said he's going to run, but we've been saying all along, we've seen all these different signs where he's putting these coalitions together. He's doing all the things that you would expect someone to do if they are going to run in 2020. So in this case, he had put a team together of many different groups, activists, all different kinds of people, to talk about what that would be, what that would look like, and the conclusion they made was whether or not you're going to run, you better start putting the groundwork down right now. Because, it's big election, presidential, it's a lot of money, a lot of stuff you have to do, so you got to get started with the planning right now. And in this case, he has a whole team that he has put together to start this process. And to people that are saying he's not going to run because the news has said he's not going to run, or they've not brought it up, or my favorite one I hear is he's too old. But I would like to remind everyone that the same people that say he's too old are happy to generally have Joe Biden run, even though they're within a year of each other.
A year difference, mind you, it's just a year difference according to corporate media.
But so that means that Joe Biden should never run, should immediately retire after his first year.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
So, but of course, Bernie's too old. So, in this case, again, we've said for a while, Bernie is going to run in 2020. I've made a few prediction posts months ago, said that he would win 2020, because to me it only makes sense that he would run, because for what he's trying to do, sometimes it takes more than one election cycle to get through. And for Sanders, remember last time he started, completely unknown, no money, no infrastructure, very little backing, almost no endorsements, no one knew who he was at all.
Yeah.
And now he is the most well-known candidate that would be in the race. He has the most support. He is the most loved. He has the policy ideas that are most popular with Democrats, Independents, and Republicans. Mm-hmm. He has a trustworthy factor that other politicians don't have, and a track record that
I think he has like an 80% approval rating.
Yeah, if he ran, he would be much more likely to win than Hillary ever was.
It's important to note that this is a huge impact, because remember, of all the elected officials in Washington, D.C., he's the one person who has been consistent in regards to building a political revolution, or at least some more changes or reforms within the Democratic Party, as well as challenging Donald Trump as well as the Republicans in the House and Senate. He's been consistent on a lot of issues, and the fact that now he's, I guess, considering to run or build an infrastructure to go forward for a presidential election run for 2020, I would have to say this is the smartest move he can make if he wants to really, go forward and reverse some of the policies that Donald Trump and his administration have put in place.
Yeah, no, again, this is, from our point of view, at least I'll speak for myself. From my point of view, this just confirms what I already suspected, and now it's continuing to do that. So as long as he doesn't have nothing develops health-wise, let's be real, he is old. But right now, as I've said to a lot of people, some people are old at 30, some people are old at 100. Mm-hmm. He can still outrun people in their 30s.
Yeah.
So,
and plus he has a huge amount of support from independents, Democrats, and believe it or not, even some Republicans too. So. Yeah.
You're watching Hard Lens Media.